Michaela. I know how you are.
Thanks.
All right. All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are going to get started since Lakeia was able to join us. We're so glad that she did.
So wrong. Yay!
Let me put the material in the chat. I want to make sure everybody has it. Otherwise, what? You'll probably be emailing me, and that's okay too. You know how we are. But make sure we take care of our family. All right, let's see. I think it should be this one, I hope. If not, then we'll adjust. Okay, it's in the chat. All right, so welcome. This is called 7th Level Mega Open House. It comes from the book. What book? The Bible, the Shift Book by Gary Keller. It's page 71 of the Shift Book. On page 71 of the Shift Book, he details it in detail. Yeah, detail. Wait a minute, let me get rid of this here. You don't want to see my backdrop anymore anyway. All right, let's see. There we go. Comes from the Shift Book. Comes from the Shift Book, Gary Keller. Taking open houses beyond the basics, beyond the basics. What we're going to prove today is, well, it's already known, that last year was nothing new. Last year was nothing new. What do I mean by that? Last year, everybody said, oh my God, I did an open house and 100 people showed up. Oh my God, 50 people showed up. Problem was those agents didn't know how to handle it. Yeah. That's exactly right. Because I'm going to show you videos from 2016, 4 years prior to the pandemic, where we had 176 people in the house, 123 people in the house. This is nothing new. When you do it the right way, you can expect to get results. And that's the idea. It is proven, I'm going to say it now, usually I don't say it till later. It is proven if you do 2 to 3 7th level open houses every single week, you will get 100 transactions a year. 100 transactions a year. At an average commission point of what? $10,000? You do the math. That's $1 million. Okay? So, all right, so let's get started about it. So I have to take care of my broker. That's the first page of the handout. Now, for those of you that are not in my market center, please, please, please check with your broker. But I believe your broker would agree with my broker. And what do I mean by that? If you are with Keller Williams, you should not be doing open houses for any other brokerage. Okay? We have found in the past that agents thought, well, I'm just in my neighborhood and there's XYZ Realty has a thing. I'm going to call them and see if I can do an open house for them. No, it's a liability issue. As our broker has said, when we asked the question, are there any restrictions on Keller Williams agents hosting open houses for other brokerages, i.e. Century 21, Caldwell, XYZ?
How does that work for someone that's, it's a franchise that's not your OP? Is that
Pardon?
the same thing?
If it says Keller Williams on it, you're fine. It says Keller Williams on it, you're fine. Our broker's answer was, I do not recommend it. We have enough of our own listings. And today, in my office, you're going to find out that there are over 1,100 possible open house opportunities right now. It's beyond my belief that why agents aren't doing open houses every week. Gary Keller has taught us the quickest way to a paycheck is to do an open house. So why aren't agents doing open houses? I don't get it. When I took Ignite about 10 years ago, that's the first thing they said. We'll be doing open houses every single weekend. I didn't do 7th level because I didn't know about it. I didn't understand how good it was to do that. Fast forward, I'm telling you, that's the way you want to grow your business. That's the way to do it. Okay, so he says, why our EO insurance, that's errors and omission insurance, may not cover you for sale by owner open houses. Those of us that have been in the industry a long time, old school was what? Hey, Mr. For sale by owner, I'll do a free open house for you this weekend. Trying to get the listing. Doesn't work that way. Why? You're putting yourself in the brokerage and a liability situation. So as our broker says, you would have to get a indemnification, a hold harmless agreement. And realistically, why do you want to do for another brokerage? You do not want to pay love to them, first of all. Not to say that any other brokerage isn't. But the problem is you're representing Keller Williams. And as that, you should be representing what you represent. Okay? The idea is what? What if you knocked over a valuable statue or something similar? That's why you have to weigh it out and say, nope, I'm not going to do it. Now, in our office, because we've already had this happen in the past, I got with two of the biggest teams in here, and I already knew most of it, but I had it from them to make sure that, in fact, it's being done the right way. So it says, thank you so much for holding an open house. We appreciate your willingness and desire to help our sellers sell their home. Our standards are very high and our sellers are expecting the best service. Therefore, please be aware of the following. Number one, you must have an active e-key. That's an electronic key. That's been there since the day that it happened, where an agent called up the director of operations on a Sunday at 12 o'clock and said, hey, come open the door. I don't have an e-key. That will not happen again in this office. It's a tool that you need. You should have it. You should be using it. It's something that's part of your curriculum. Okay? Next thing, please ensure that you have shadowed 2 open houses. And please, please, please understand, it's not just show up and stay 5 minutes. You're there for the entire time. We've had agents in the past complain or post on Facebook, you must stay for the entire open house. I don't know why they have to say that. And at the end of the day, how do you expect to get any better at your craft if you're not there for the entire event? Okay. Let's see what else we have here. So it's shadow 2 open houses prior to attempting to do one. Please view showing instructions for the gate codes, the pets, the lockbox location, alarm codes, etc. It says you must arrive 30 to 60 minutes early to prepare for your open house. I'm going to tell you to double that. You want? Oh, nice to meet you. Everybody said hi and welcome. So I heard. All right. I'm going to say double that because here's the thing, guys. You're going to learn from me that open house is a total lead generation day. My open house last night, 8 hours. 8 hours. Because that's what it takes to get it done the right way. If you choose to. If you don't choose to, you can do like I see most times, open house 11 to 2, 12 to 11 to 2, 2 to 4, stuff like that. I want to question that. What do you expect to do in 2 hours? Probably nothing. It should be a full lead generation day, and I'll explain how that comes to be in 8 hours. Okay? All right, so now must arrive. It says you should have 10 to 25 directional open house signs. I'm going to tell you to add a 0 to the first number. I put out no less than 100 signs. That's why it works. That's why it also takes me 2 hours to set it up, even working with a partner. Because guess what happens when you start to set it up? You start to get people following you prior to your open house. These are potential what? Buyers, sellers, and investors. And as we're taught by our pivot shift guru, James Shaw, open houses are to get what? Seller leads. You're all gonna say, no, it's for buyer leads. No, it's to get seller leads. It's to get seller leads. Because the reality is this, and those of you that may take listings, you gotta make sure you let your seller know. Yes, we'll do an open house. They'll want you to do an open house 24/7, 365. You must let them know the unlikelihood of your house selling at the open house is less than 1%. Open houses are to gain leads. It's lead generation machines. That's what they're designed to do. Okay? All right, so direct any questions from the seller back to the listing agent. You do not give your opinion. I promise you, if the seller hangs around before it starts, they are going to ask you, do you think it's priced right? Do not voice your opinion. Direct it right back to the listing agent. What they're trying to do is get you caught in a trap. Okay? Well, you know, the other guy said that it's not, we could get at least 50,000 more. No, you do not voice your opinion. You direct it back to the listing agent. Let the listing agent handle those questions that they're asking. All right. Please email the listing coordinator with your feedback from any open house contacts. They will need feedback by 12 p.m. on Monday. That's if it's done on Friday, Saturday. Okay. Can you do an open house during the week? I just looked today in the app. There's 4 scheduled already. Yeah. Think about it. If it's in a high traffic area during the week, what's the motivation of the people coming in? They took time off from their busiest day to come in to see your open house. Their motivation is much higher. That's why open houses any day of the week will work. If you do it on Monday, what'd you do? You caught everybody that missed the weekend. If you do it on Friday, you're getting everybody that hasn't gone for the weekend. Any day of the week is great for an open house. It's a lead generation machine. That's all it is. Okay? All right. How many people attended? They want to know. If they have an agent, please provide the agent's contact information. Don't be afraid to ask that question. If they do not have an agent, please let me know your follow-up strategy if they have interest. So in other words, you want to know, they want to know what you're going to do to follow up. Give your impression, feedback of the property. All that, we value all feedback, whether good or bad. We appreciate your unvarnished and honest opinion. If you heard that most of the people that showed up said it was overpriced, make sure that they know that. Make sure they know that. That's the only way you can help them. All right. How does the buyer feel about the price? Just right? Too high? Let's see. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the best, how did they rate the property? You should be asking them. You should have, usually, besides the sign-in sheet, you should also have a survey sheet to let you know how they surveyed the property, what they liked, what they did not like about it. Okay? Again, we appreciate your hosting the open house and look forward to working with you when you bring the perfect buyer. Thank you for your partnership. Okay, so before I move on, I'd like to show a couple of videos. Those videos are about open houses. So those of you that have been to the old Ignite probably have seen at least one of these videos. So the video that I'm going to show you, the first one was from the Ignite series, and it was done in 2012. And it's called Hold an Effective Open House. The gentleman that's doing it is, his partner is the #1 agent in Keller Williams. His name is Chris Suarez. Chris Suarez comes from upstate New York, Brewster, moved to Portland, Oregon. When he moved, his goal was to have done 150 open houses the first year. He failed miserably and only did 120. He now owns 19 teams across the country, and he's with the #1 agent in Keller Williams. So let's see what he has to say about holding an effective open house. I get this set up, push a few buttons. Okay.
Ronnie, when you get a chance, could you put the document in the chat again?
Yes,
Please.
ma'am. Thank you for telling me. There, it's done. It's that easy. Just ask. All right, let's see. Where is it? Where is it? Just had it. Where did you go? There you are. Okay.
Hi, I'm Chris Suarez, and I'm here to tell you the 5 steps to holding an effective open house. Step 1, strategically select the home you want to hold open. Choose a home that gives you the greatest potential to have buyers and sellers find you. This might be a home that is in a great traffic pattern, whether that be car traffic or people walking by in walkable neighborhoods in your community. Select a home around a local event where neighbors or even out-of-town people might be stopping in. Step 2 of holding an effective open house is advertising and marketing. Marketing begins a week in advance of any open house you might hold open. Begin by posting internet ads a week before. Get a sign in the yard and let neighbors and passerbys know that the home will be open later in the week. Remember to contact both by phone and email any internet leads or phone calls you've received on that listing prior to the open house. Don't forget to make 50 calls around the home prior to the open house and door knock, a radius of about 2 or 3 blocks. Step 3, know your scripts. Know what you're going to say to greet the visitor. Know what questions you're going to ask while they're in the home. One of the greatest first lines you could use is, "Thanks for stopping in to tour my open house. Are you one of the neighbors or are you out shopping for a home today?" Immediately, you'll know if you're dealing with a potential buyer or a potential seller. Step 4 is keep the right mindset and prepare. Remember, open houses are lead generation activities, so enter with the mindset of a top lead generator. Prepare yourself with comparable properties, market research, at least 2 or 3 other homes that you could potentially show should the opportunity arise. And step 5, always follow up with every lead that comes through that door. Call them, email them, write thank you notes that same day. A simple follow-up script to use directly after an open house. It goes like this. "Thanks for stopping into my open house this morning. It was great to meet you. I did a little bit of digging in the office after we met and after the open house and found 3 other properties I think really fit your search criteria. I know the home that we saw this morning wasn't quite perfect, but these 3 have some real potential. We could get into them tomorrow at 4 or at 6, which would work better for you." Great, let's meet at my office and we can go from there. My biggest aha when doing open houses is remembering open houses are not a technique to keep current sellers happy. In reality, open houses are great lead generation tools to connect with potential future buyers and sellers. By using effective scripts and systems leading up to the open house and great follow-up techniques after the open house, you'll build a met database of future buyers and sellers. Thanks for watching KW Connect and make it a great day.
Okay, so that was the first one from 2012. I'd like to show you the follow-up that he did from 2018. See if I can get that set up.
Hi, my name is Chris Suarez. I am from Portland, Oregon, and I have built a really big business around open houses. About 50% of our business comes from open houses as the original source. I started using open houses when I moved cities, landed in the state of Oregon, and didn't know anybody, didn't have Sphere, didn't have friends, and started doing open houses to generate interest, to generate clients, to find buyers, to find sellers. We started with open houses about 5 to 6 days a week with the goal of adding 2 people to the database every single day from an open house. The open house started on Saturday, but there was activity 6 days before that open house leading up to it. It's a multi-pronged strategy. There's marketing, right? There's prospecting involved. And ultimately it's building the database. So whether 1 person shows up or 20 people show up or 50 people show up, our vision and our mission in that open house, our psyche or our mindset around that open house is, did we add someone to the database? And if we did, it's a win. Gary talks a lot about time on the right task over time is what really matters. So really going back and saying, maybe I did the opens, but was I spending my time and putting my energy into the right tasks around those open houses? Are you going to call around the open house? Make sure it's in your schedule. Are you going to door knock around your open house? Make sure it's in your schedule. Is there going to be some marketing around the open house, whether it's print or digital? Make sure that's in your schedule. So the advice is choose it, stick to it, and then just have faith that if you do specific activities, right, success leaves clues. So just pick up the clues and they will lead to that successful open house and that successful open house business.
Okay, before we move on, what are your ahas? Two, literally.
If you're intentional and strategic about it, it definitely, you have success.
Absolutely. Anyone else? Thank you,
Yeah.
Lakay.
He built his new business by having having open houses every day of the week in order to start his new database.
50% of his business was from open houses. Camille, what'd you have to add?
The goal is to add to the database.
Exactly, right? What are we taught every day? Keep adding to our database, adding to our database. So the only way to meet brand new contacts to add to our database is to get out there and either circle prospect, door knock, etc. Correct? I got a hand raised. Susie, do you have a question?
Well, I was going to say, and it also stood out to me that he said he calls, doesn't just door knock, he calls as well. But then that leads me to, I'm still not sure about where to find the numbers to call all the neighbors.
Oh, okay. All right.
Door knock for them.
That's one way.
What is it?
Door knock.
Okay.
What's another way?
There are different tools with numbers for neighbors, but I was just gonna, Jonathan
Correct.
said in the chat, which is a huge one, schedule the time for it.
Well, that's
Because
exactly
we
right.
could say door knock or do all these various things, but if it's not in your schedule, it just magically doesn't happen.
Correct. So it's scheduled time with a purpose. That's exactly right. And Myra, very good. If your MLS has Remind, which ours does, you can get it there. We're fortunate that in our market center provides us with Land Voice. So with Land Voice, we can use what's called the neighborhood search, where you put in a address and then find the numbers around that address. I'll give you the free one, guys. If you don't have Land Voice or don't have Remind, truepeoplesearch.com, truepeoplesearch.com. You can put in an address and you may not get all of them, but you'll get most of them. Kayla, you had a question?
Sorry, I didn't put my hand down from before, but hold on, I'm gonna give you one other app that I found a while ago. I think after you use it, after a while, you do have to, there's a cost involved, but I have used in the past, oh shoot, where is it?
That's them. That's another one that you can use.
Truth Finder was an app that I've used in the past.
Well, Truth Finder cost you though.
Not in the beginning. I haven't paid
Yeah.
yet.
I pay for the premium, so, and it's worth it, to be honest with you, but that's another class. Anyway, so those are a couple of ways that you can do it. So let's get back into the handout materials and let's talk about what Gary teaches us about the 7th level open house and why he says that. So I'll hit the share back. Okay, so on page 71 of the shift book, it says taking open houses beyond the basics, beyond the basics. So level 1, if you're a level 1 expert, you put a sign in the yard, yippee, okay? Level 2 is you put a sign in the yard, you put a sign in the yard with balloons and riders, okay? So you guys may not be able to see it on Zoom, but in here I have my signs. These are basic signs that we have. They're not expensive at all. Don't overpay for them. They cost me $4. That's it. Just like you see it, two-sided. $4 each. What's the average price of a home's commission?
1,200, 12,000.
12,000, thank you. So when the nosy neighbor came running into my open house and said, oh my God, code enforcement just took your 14 signs. And thought I was just gonna burst out and run after them. 14 times 4 versus 12,000 commission. I basically almost laughed in her face. Because to me, I understood what she wanted to do. And what I did, I turned around and said, oh, how can I help you? Are you looking to purchase in this neighborhood? She thought I was gonna get all upset that they stole my signs. Okay? But I
Anna
learned.
wants to know where you get them for $4.
I'll be more than happy to show you. Now, they may have gone up to $5. Don't hold me to it, but that's the max is 5. But when I purchased them, they were $3.65 each. And I will show you 2 places to find it. Okay? So stay tuned. Anyway, sign in the yard with balloons and riders. So where do you get these balloons? Dollar Tree. Well, now it's no longer Dollar Tree. It's what? $1.25 tree. So I'm not going to $1.25 tree anymore. What am I going to do? So in Florida, we have this beautiful, beautiful chain. It's called Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And you walk into Publix, and because you're going to get your water and your snacks, your refreshments and snacks, you're going to walk up to them and say, I'm having a party today. Don't say open house. Having a party today. Could we have some balloons for the party? And guess what? They're already blown up with the string attached to them. It says Publix on it, but who cares? What you're trying to do is attach them to these to go in the wind like this, to draw attention to your open house. If you don't want to do that, then go to Dollar Tree. I haven't been there in a while, but they used to be either 2 or 3 for $1. They're called pinwheels. They spin, the little kids have them. Yeah. Who do you think's going to see those things first?
Kids.
Every little kid that's coming towards your open house. Mommy, we need to go here. Okay? It'll draw them in like flies. The best part about it is those pinwheels, you can attach them and leave them on here and use them for the next open house.
The balloons should be a problem now. The helium, there's a shortage of helium out there right now.
Well, I haven't seen it at Publix yet, so
No, I had problems.
Oh.
A friend's birthday.
There's a tip. Thank you very much. Okay. So we now have a helium shortage. We used to have a formula shortage, then we had a toilet paper shortage, then we had what? It's amazing what's happening with this world, isn't it? Unbelievable. Anyway, those are a couple of things you can do. All right, so level 2. Level 3, sign in the yard, sign with balloons and riders, directional signs at all key corners. Remember, you're going to need more of these than you're going to need of those. So get your directional signs. And what's the shortest distance between 2 points? Straight line.
Right.
So make sure you do a straight line to your open house. Don't be taking them out and all over the place. The only time you differentiate from that is when it's a community yard sale in the neighborhood. You know they're going to attract a lot of people to that neighborhood. You want to position yourself before those houses, so you're directed right past you, so they come looking. Okay, that's how you attract more traffic in there. Okay, all right. Next thing, level 5. Sign in the yard, sign with balloons and riders, directional signs, flyers the week before, email invites, and post it on websites. Now, if it's not your listing, if it's somebody else's, at least in my market center, and from what I know, they will always post it to the multiple listing service, public, and on the MLS out there. So you're covered with the internet. Can you take it and put it on your Facebook pages? Absolutely. Can you take it and put it on your TikTok pages? Yes. TikTok is huge. I had an agent that listened to me. I'll show you her video. She got 46,000 views just from doing a 30-second TikTok video. She got 4 buyers out of it, closed 2. I'm just saying, okay? All right, next thing. Let's see what it said here, level 5. Oh, week before, and go invite neighbors. It says 100 minimum. I'm gonna tell you to double that. And what do I mean? Stand at the front door of the open house, go 50 east, west, north, and south. Guys, this is part of how you get business prior to your open house. Because when you go 50 east, west, north, and south, and you say, hey, how are you? Like to invite you to our mega open house this Saturday between 11 and 3. Who do you know that wants to move into this beautiful neighborhood? Friend, family, coworker, bring them with you. We're gonna have refreshments. We're gonna have snacks. Come 1 hour prior. We're gonna have just the owners in the neighborhood come down there. Let me ask you, how you doing with COVID right now? Is everything all right? Are the walls closing in? Have you thought of listing your home? You might get business prior to that open house. That's what door knocking does for you. That's what circle prospecting does. Get you business prior. That's why it's very lucrative, like Chris Suarez says. The activities start way before. If you're doing an open house on Saturday and Sunday, or Sunday, you're starting on Monday. You're not starting Friday like most agents do. They start Friday for a Saturday open house. No, you should be starting a week in advance to build up to it. Plus, and you're also going to get business prior to that. Okay. Sign in the yard, sign balloons to the ride, directional signs, flyers a week before, go invite neighbors, get on the phone that morning and remind everyone. Yep. Call your database if you're local and or call those numbers that you circle past with and invite them. Hey, don't forget, open house today. Bring your friends, family, coworkers that you thought might want to buy in this neighborhood. All right. And finally, sign in the yard with balloons and riders, directional signs, flyers the week before, go invite neighbors, get on the phone, and hold 4 additional open houses in various price ranges. That means you're going to hold 5 open houses that very day. You are going to hold 5 open houses that very day. Give me a minute and we're going to talk about that because I used to leave that for the end, but I think we got to do it now when it's fresh in your mind. So at the bottom of the page, Gary says, and I quote, some agents just stick a sign in the yard and call it lead generation. Others go 6 steps beyond this and call it lead generation. The big question is, what do you call lead generation? Okay. So that's what he's pertaining to with the 7th level open houses. So let's talk about now the last one that says hold 4 other open houses in the area in various price ranges. So what we're going to do is I'm going to see, let me see if I get this working, and it should. Come up. Can everybody see my whiteboard? Should be just white.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So,
Yes.
our open house that we are hosting is listed at $500,000. Let me ask a question. Are people at 500,000 walking in that door?
Maybe.
Yes,
And
and
some
other
aren't.
price points.
And who said that? Other price points.
Michaela.
Oh, you must be one of them business owners that I hear about. So she's absolutely right, because you're going to get 450. You're going to get 400. And there's no right or wrong with this. You're going to get 550. And you're going to get 600 walking through the door. It's up to you to not let them leave. It's up to you to not let them leave. Because if they leave and come down the street to my open house, they're not leaving because I know what to do. Okay? So what do I mean by knowing what to do? So what it means is this. Got to go ahead with the handout here. Just give me a second. Maybe I need to switch this order. So in my MLS, my multiple listing service, we have the ability to do what's called a 5-up 5 up, where you can put 5 different homes on one page. So if you noticed here, let me see, I got 595, 584, 575, 450, and 369. So the open house I was at that time was 575. And when people walked in the door, of course, I did the script. So before I do the script, let me just throw this out here. What's the only thing you should say when somebody walks into your open house? I'm sorry?
Welcome to my open house. Thank you for stopping by.
Welcome to my open house. Thank you for stopping by. That's very good. Anyone else? What's that? There's only 2 words.
Are you buying or are you selling?
Welcome home. Welcome home.
Yes.
Now you made it about who? Them. And not about you. Welcome home. When they come in, then you're going to use a script. Those of you that have been to bold, I took this from the first 5 seconds of the call, which goes something like this. You know, it's a great property. Everybody seems to be coming in to look at it. So you're in the market to buy a home? Fantastic. Take a look around. Now you have to read them. What I mean by reading them. If you haven't learned, it's called the DISC profile, D-I-S-C. Driver, influential, steady, and cautious or accurate. Everybody has a personality complex. And if they walk in and they give you this because they really don't want to talk to you, let them move on, still ask the questions. If they engage with you, continue. So you're in the market to buy a home, fantastic. Let me ask you, what price range do you feel comfortable with? Well, I feel comfortable with 469. The price of this home is 575. Right? Oh, I'm so sorry. This is priced a little more than you. Instead of doing like most agents do, well, you know, we can go over here to my computer and we can look for other homes. No. Right here on the sheet, I have this home, basically the same demographics, almost the same square footage at your price point. Let me ask you, are you available to go see it right now? Or my open house is ending in about a half hour. Would you be available to see it? Because what you did, what I didn't tell you is, when you pick these 4, you set this up before the open house, you pick 4 that are vacant, not owner occupied, because the logistics are going to be a nightmare, because then you have to be in touch with them, etc. Before the open house, your open house, you call the listing agent. Ring, ring. Hi, this is Ronnie with Keller Williams Classic Realty. Thank you so much for taking my call. Your property at 12105 Great Birch Circle in Orlando. I would like to have exclusive access to it between 11 and 3 on Saturday. I'm having a mega open house. The listing agent might ask you, are you going to have buyers coming through? I'm having a mega open house. Do I have exclusive access? By exclusive access means he already knows I'm probably going to come with people. You do that with the 4 additional properties, and that's how you hold 5 open houses the same day. Because you're not going to let somebody walk out the door because they can't afford the house that you're with. That's how you leverage it, guys. You have this sheet printed out right next to the sheet that tells them about the current open house. And this way you now can cultivate them. This is how you will do 4 additional open houses the same day. Who has questions before I go on?
I do, Ronnie. Sorry, it's Katrina.
That's
With
okay,
this
Katrina.
sheet,
Go ahead.
with the 5 listings, do you print out enough if someone wants to take one with them, or this is just for you to keep while you're there doing the primary open house?
So if I let them take it, then there's no reason for me to show it to them, right?
Right.
There you go.
Okay, so I just want to make sure it's just one, and that's your copy.
That's right.
Thank
But-
you.
But you answered the perfect question, because if you give it to them, oh, well, and now they know where to
Right.
go, right? And now you lost them.
Right.
okay.
Thank you.
No worries. Hey, you don't know, right? So that's exactly right, because you don't want them to be, you could have additional copies if they say, yes, I'll go with you, right? You could do that if you want. But I would not have it there. God bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Any other questions? No, you're okay.
I have a question. Do you care if they have a pre-approval before you go show them the other houses?
So that's the next thing, and that's a very good question. So I already seen that they can go and see it. The next question would be, are you doing cash or financing? Are you doing cash or financing? Are you doing cash or financing? Well, we're doing financing. Okay. Let me ask you, do you have a pre-approval letter? Okay, fantastic. I have a pre-approval letter. Who's the pre-approval letter with? It's with my bank. I've been with them 25 years. Okay, so who asked that question?
I did, Charmene.
Charmene. So Charmene, I'm going to role play with you if you don't mind.
Okay.
So when that happens, what I'm going to do is, oh, that's great. You've been with your bank? Fantastic. What am I going to do? I'm going to pull out my most powerful weapon that most agents don't use. It's called their KW Consumer app. And that consumer app is going to be open to the property that I'm doing the open house at. Okay? Charmene, that's fantastic that you have a pre-approval from your bank. But Charmene, you owe it to yourself to get a second opinion. May I share with you? So Charmene, my company, Keller Williams, has a division called Keller Mortgage. With Keller Mortgage, you'll see there's no origination fee, there's no application fee. Oh, did the bank charge you like, $250, $350 for an application? With Keller Mortgage, we're not going to charge that. There's no lender fees. Any loan over $150,000, you're going to get $1,000 back at closing. On this home, and roughly at about $500,000, I've had customers tell me that they've saved $6,000 by using Keller Mortgage. Once again, Charmene, you owe it to yourself to get a second opinion. That's also another way I do to do what? Get them to sign in, because they're not leaving unless they sign in. They're not seeing the home unless they sign in. This is somebody's most prized possession. If you don't sign in, you don't see the home. Also, you may have noticed my two good friends here, Gigantor, which is outside the front of the house. You set the expectations. Welcome to our open house. Sign in, view the house, ask questions, fall in love, make an offer. Next to the sign-in sheet, I'm still old school. I have Mini-Me. Mini-Me says the same thing. No one leaves my open house without signing in. Well, they don't see the house. You don't have to let them see the house. There's nothing that says you have to. Now, most of you are going to say, well, how do I stop them? And when you tell me that, you're also telling me the one thing that I know. 99.999% of agents work by themselves. Shame on you. Stop it. First of all, your life is not worth a lead. Number two, you can't control that open house by yourself. I remember in 2018, I was doing a 2-story, fully furnished vacation rental. 12 people walked in at the same time. Thank God I had somebody with me, and all I did was go watch, because the kids ran upstairs, the kids ran over here and grabbed the Xbox. Couldn't control it. You can't. And you may think you're going to control it, and your first instinct is to go to the first person that walks in. That's great. Meanwhile, the other 3 are the potential buyers or sellers. And because you didn't have time to spend with them, too bad. I showed 6 houses 2 weeks ago. All 6 houses were open houses. We pulled into one in Summerport, 2-story house. We walked in, opened the door. The staircase going upstairs was the first thing you got to. Behind that was the kitchen. We were behind there in the kitchen, talking to the agent. the door would open and go ding, and she would say, "Hi, welcome to the open house." And they'd run upstairs. She didn't even know she was getting blindsided. Of course, she was by herself. Look, if you're too cheap to share leads, then get somebody else to be with you. What am I talking about? Get your lender. Get an insurance guy. Get an inspector. If you don't want to share leads with other agents. Now, the material now teaches us to work with partners and have script practice with them. Because the reality is, you cannot service an open house the right way by yourself. I'm 6 foot tall. I won't do it by myself. It's hard. It's incredible to do that. There's no way. Okay?
In that situation, if somebody starts grabbing stuff
And you're responsible for that.
going on with you,
And you're responsible for that. Yeah.
have you had that going on?
Oh, with a kid. Oh, with a kid. What are you going to tell a 4-year-old? No, don't take the controller. Now, what if I didn't see that and they walked out the door? Think about it. Okay? You're responsible for everything in that home. So do yourself a favor. Stop being stingy. This is always better than this. I'm just saying. Okay? And I've learned it more times than I could count. You might wind up getting a partner that winds up being just as good as you, if not better, that you guys can work off of to handle these leads and do it the right way. Okay? All right, so let's go back into our program. Any other questions before I move on? Okay. Let's see. I gotta get back to the share. Okay, so open house countdown checklist. 3 days before, confirm the date and time of the open house with the listing agent. Print a map of the neighborhood surrounding the open house, 5-mile radius. Research your sign placement regulations, HOA, city, county, etc. You're going to hear from agents here. You're only allowed to put no more than 6 signs with the stickers from the county. So what do you do in that case? You continue to put out the signs. I'm sorry? Or in that county, you only run weekend open houses. Why? Code enforcement don't work on the weekends. Okay? Now, do due diligence. What do I mean? Pick up after yourself whatever you put out. Don't leave stuff out there. Okay? All right, so next thing. Order 10 helium balloons. We don't need to do that. Go to Publix, right? Get the helium balloons. Get 1 yard sign with rider. No, get more than that. I'll put 50 signs just on the lawn if I have to, depending on what goes on. Okay? Get at least, I would say, 50 to 100 directional signs with riders. Print 100 flyers. Include map. That's up to you. If it's somewhere where you need to have very strategic, then yes, I would print the map. Now, if you're not going to print those flyers, who's going to print them? Who prints those flyers?
If you're doing it for someone else, the listing agent,
They're not going to do it. They're providing you with the opportunity. But that's not a bad idea.
you are, I am.
Well, you or who else?
The lender.
Who's that? Say that loud and proud. Lender. The lender that you're going to share these leads with. They're going to print it up in color. Remember, please remember right now, you do not work for them. They work for you. They want all of your leads. So make sure that they're doing something for you. I promise you, You will not get leads from lenders. They work with thousands of agents. And you can get them to print up your flyers for you. It's still a marketing expense for them that they can take, but at least they'll give it to you. So at least you can have that. If you have a lender that's willing to show up at the open house, now you covered yourself with safety because you share the leads with them. You don't have to worry about it, okay? Role play scripts with a partner. So already Keller Williams, this comes right from the Ignite book, the previous one, says role play scripts with a partner. So that means you're with a partner at an open house. Okay, no more single agents. 2 days before, knock on 100 doors in the neighborhood. We already talked about that. Now, this one on the right says print 2 blank contracts. Don't print 2. If you walk out to my car right now, to my mobile office, that's the trunk of my car, there are 10 blank as is purchase contracts. There are 10 blank listing agreements. Because in 2005, we wrote on the hoods of cars because you didn't make it back to the office. The property was sold 10 times over. Thank God I still have that in my head, and I keep that for this specific reason. For that specific reason. You don't want to wait. You don't want what's called buyer's remorse. If they say, I'd like to write an offer, don't say, I'll go back to the office. And some of you are going to say to me, well, I'll just do it on my iPad. Yeah. St. Cloud, Florida, I couldn't even get one signal, one bar to make my cell phone work. Thank God I'm old school that I can write it down. Otherwise, I would lose a deal. You got to remember, don't be thinking only technology. Yes, I know it's great to have the sign-in sheet with command and go right to command. That's great. But the old school still works, and it works well because it gets you the data mine, as we said. Okay? All right. Next thing, you should have a home book to display at open house. So this is very prevalent, especially here in this area. If you're doing vacation homes, you'll see most of the vacation homeowners have a guest book, people that stayed and talked about it. That's great to have at your open house to show how this house was and what it did. Now, this was created when COVID started. So it says assemble your showing kit. You may still want to do that now. There are still some people that are very, very COVID compliant. What I mean by that, you may want to have masks, gloves, booties, shoe protectors, bottled water, notepads, sanitizing wipes at your open house. Show them that you are taking the initiative to protect them. Okay? All right, coloring books for the and crayons for the kids so they don't start doing what? Running all over the place on you. This was back, like I said, when COVID started. I still to this day, I still use the Fabuloso. Fabuloso is the best kept secret in town. I purchased this at the dollar store when it was $1. You take it and you take yourself a clean rag, any door frame, you will take and rub nose high. Fabuloso. Front door, bedrooms, kitchen, wherever they walk through. You want a clean, fresh scent throughout the whole entire home. That's what this is used for. Okay? In addition, I know we didn't discuss this, and another thing you can use, see if I get back here so we can show them. So we have the Fabuloso, great thing to use. The next thing we can use is the front door should be gift wrapped. Front door is gift wrapped, right? It's the door panel. Where does this come from? This comes from Walmart. This comes from Walmart at Christmas time. Don't go and try and buy it now. It'll cost you $5.98. You go December 26th, 75% off, $1.75. Buy them, stick them in your trunk. This will make the best impression on your front door because you don't know if that front door has got pitted, chipped, or whatever. You want it inviting to come to your open house. You want to make sure that that home is invited when they come home. All right, so there's just a couple of tips and tricks that you can use. Let's move on with our handout. Before that, let me do this. We're gonna break it up with a couple of videos, show you just how it has been done in the past and how it can be done. So this way you guys are all on board with what needs to take place.
Hey guys, from
Okay, so this is one of our former ALC members. She took Ignite back in 2016 from me, listened to what I said, and this is what she did.
Ignite. This is Sandra Barney and
Mr. Millennial, how's it going, guys?
hey guys. So we're hosting this mega open house. You want to tell them the address?
Okay, so this one is in Hunter's Creek. It's over 2,300 square feet with a huge pool and an even better lake view on the other side. The address is 14509 Apatanao Trail in Orlando.
Yes, guys. We're gonna be here from 2 to 6 p.m. So come and join us. And also, this is actually for Ronnie. So I really don't think we put enough signs this time. What do you think, Moises?
I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully Ronnie approves of it because we tried really hard for this one.
Yeah, exactly. I think nobody's gonna notice us. But you guys can tell us. I mean, let's see. Is this enough? I don't know.
I'll put enough sign.
We should put definitely a little bit more signs.
Probably like what, 5 or 10.
Maybe another 15 or 20 signs. So guys, this is the house. You can see all the signs here.
It's a lot.
We already had some families coming in and expecting more right now in a few moments. Our open house was going to be at 2 o'clock, but we actually had people coming in at 1 and driving through. We didn't want to say no.
Just signs.
Yeah, we just want them to come in. So if you guys want to join us, just come here. We're going to be here till 6 o'clock. So Ronnie, hope that we make you proud.
Let's get Monday involved.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
So guys, that's the key. When you start putting out those signs, it attracts traffic. So I said that it's an 8-hour event. So typically my open houses run 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I start at 9 o'clock, even if I start with a helper. Takes us about 2 hours to set up 100 signs. Along the way, you're going to get people following you, which is good. That's what you want. 11 o'clock it starts. You run it from 11 to 3, and then magically at 3 o'clock, what happens? That's exactly right. And you can't close down. And it normally takes you an hour then to get out of there. So you get out of there at 4, right? And then mysteriously, I don't know how come it works this way, but it took me 2 hours to set up. It only takes me an hour to pick them all up, and I'm done by 5 o'clock. And that's your 8-hour day. And while you're doing that, that's why you're generating lead after lead. It's a lead generation event. Because realistically, if you're there and nobody shows up, what should you be doing? Yeah, you should be doing lead generation, follow-up. If somebody did show up, you should be starting to write your what? Thank you notes for coming to the open house. You want to make sure that you have that done. All right, so that's how Sandy did it. I'm going to show you one more. I mentioned TikTok. And let me see, where's Melissa? Let's see, I can show that afterwards. I think that's what I want there. Here we go. Oh, they got me pushing these crazy buttons. Come on now. All right, that one don't want to work, so maybe it's this one.
Hey, I'm out at an open house right behind Magic Kingdom. So as soon as those fireworks get started back up, eventually, you'll be able to see them from your backyard. Let's go see it. Killing it with Kenny G. This way. Nice big dining area. And opening up into a really big open kitchen. Into our living room. Nice bonus room where you can see out into your backyard with these really cute plants. Look at that. All right, let's go into the backyard. Then we'll head into the master, passing the washing room. Big master bedroom. Nice walk-in shower with a separate bathroom. Come check it out.
Okay, so that was a 59-second TikTok video, okay? Now, some of you may look at it and say, oh my God, she's all over the place, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but she did the activity. Because what happened was the activity, because just by doing the activity, what actually happened is that she wound up generating views, and that's what you want on this. So what she did was, by doing that, once she generated the views, and blew me away because I didn't even expect it. Was at the time I was new to TikTok. She wound up getting 46,000 views in less than 24 hours for a 59-second TikTok. I mean, guys, is that unreal? I mean, come on. She got 4 buyers out of it, closed 2 of them. So I think the 59 seconds that she did, her time was well spent. But it was just by doing the activity. That's the key to it. All right, so I've showed you some of my friends, what they've done. Let me show you.
Open house extravaganza.
That's you're talking already.
Join us today.
So let me set this up for you. The resort is called Reunion Resort. Reunion Resort was built by the Gin Corporation. There are 3 World Championship golf courses on there. The one that we were at, we were on the 18th fairway of the Jack Nicklaus Golden Bear. We're in the Golden Bear area that they had. It's a gated community built in Reunion. Here's the thing, guys. The prices start at 1.5 million, go up to 5 million. In 2019, we did it from December till the HOA chased us out in October to January. So the HOA chased us out, okay? It's a 24-hour man-gated full resort with everything and anything. So we were doing this open house. We started at 11 to 3 every day, and then found out that the sales center was open from 10 to 6. So I said, no, we're staying open from 10 to 6 because we knew that we could actually get things out of it.
We're here at the Bear's Den.
What's that?
What was the cost for the HOA?
I'm sorry.
The specific reason HOA.
They didn't like us there. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, they have the right to complain. They had the right, but they didn't have the right because we fought it, because the developer still is allowed to market, and that's what he was telling them, that they're marketing. And that's what we were doing, was marketing. But he didn't want to hear it because, he just didn't want us there. It's okay, no worries. What do? Pick up and go elsewhere. It took them 3 months to get rid of us, though. So, and
Again, located in
here's the
Reunion.
point.
This is the Nicholas Golf Course.
The famed Nicholas Golf Course. And come to our open house. It's open today from 10 to 6 at 991 Jack Nicholas Court.
You cannot.
I hope you can find us. All you gotta
can't
do
see
is
it if
follow
your
the
screen is
yellow
still
brick
spinning.
road of open house signs.
Literally
follow the yellow brick road. As you can see, we're doing it the right way. Check, I can zoom in. Can I zoom in? There you go. Look at that.
Ronnie, your screen is spinning. I can't see it. I can see your screen behind you, but not on the actual share.
Hold
Bonnie,
on,
did we put enough signs out?
It's showing fine on my end.
hold
I
on.
see it.
So that's why. Technical difficulty. Give me a chance here.
Open house extravaganza.
Can you see it now?
Can
we see it now?
join us.
Yes.
here.
I don't, so I'm guessing it's my phone then.
They are then located in the Reunion.
This is the Nicholas Golf Course.
The famed Nicholas Golf Course, and come to our open house. It's open today from 10 to 6 at 991 Jack Nicholas Court.
You cannot.
I hope you can find us. All you got to do is follow the yellow brick road of open house signs.
Literally follow the yellow brick road. As you can see, we're doing it the right way. Check, I can zoom in. Can I zoom in? There we go. Look at that. Ronnie, did we put enough signs out?
I don't think we did.
Okay, so that was at the Bears Den, average price point 1.5 to 5 million. What I didn't tell you guys is, or I did say, it's a 24-hour man-gated community. We had 100 signs inside. We had 0 signs outside of the community. And the first day we did it, we had 21 people show up. Considering we didn't invite anybody from outside, only inside the community. And we wound up with 21 people showing up. That was the key to doing this. That's why we did it. Here's the thing, guys. The builder that built this also had, I wasn't worried too much about 1.5 to 5. Would I like those kind of offers? Absolutely. But my point was this, even if they walked through the door and they couldn't afford it, we knew their sister community, which is right outside of the gates, was offering 4-bedroom to 12-bedroom, anywhere from 400,000 to 800,000. So I didn't care. I had every price point covered. And that's what I hope to do. In a 3-month span, I probably gathered 50 to 60 different potential leads to do that. So that was the whole idea of doing this. What was unique is I couldn't get Sunday because the sales manager said Coldwell Banker has Sunday. I said, okay. So I had to go and see what my competition was doing. So I drive by on Sunday and she had 6 signs out. So I said, okay, she's no competition. It got to the fact that she decided to leave because she couldn't get anybody coming on Sunday because I stole everything on Saturday. Because she knew what I was doing. So, because he actually said to her, and I quote, Coldwell Banker, she said, you better step up your game because KW is kicking your ass. Literally, that's what he said. So, you know, you take it for what it's worth. But anyway, let me show you a couple of more that we have. Let's talk about the signs and what they look like. And because I know you guys asked, where can I get these signs? So I want to make sure I cover that before we end this class. So let's see if I can share that. So those are the signs that I use. Okay, I got the U-turn one with the up arrow and then the left and right directional. So that's my signs. That's the way they look, like that. And then that's my giant sign, my banner sign, sits in front of the door or coming into the door. So this way they know that they have to sign in. That's what's at the sign-in sheet to make sure if they didn't see it the first time, they now have it the second time. So I don't have to ask them to do it. They already know to do it. They're conditioned. So this is a unique thing right here. If you notice here, if you know how new construction is, what do they do at new construction? New construction, the biggest model, they have fenced in like this. And then the one next door to it is the sales center. So I was able to get the agent to allow me to use the big model. As you see, I flooded it with signs and of course my big sign. And then I asked him, because I knew what would happen, I asked him, would it be okay if I open this gate here? There's a gate here. He said, sure, Ron, do what you want, which I did. Because the reality is, there's where the gate is, and I opened it up. What did it do? It provided me all of the leads coming straight into me and not going into the sales center. So this worked good for about, I'd say 6 weeks, till his partner then made us think about it and said no. So it's okay, don't worry about it. Move. So I moved. They gave me a townhouse. Okay. Where can I have the townhouse? Pick where you want. What do you think I did? I picked it as close to the entrance as possible. When I picked it as close to the entrance, I made sure they thought I was the sales center and not there. So they'd stop by me. Okay. You got to take your leverage. You got to use your leverage, whatever you can. If they're going to allow you to do it, you can only ask for forgiveness once, right? That's it. All right. Couple other ones. I got another one in black and white, and the other one, this one in black and red. So, as I stated, this is nothing new. This, oh my God, stick a sign in the yard, 100 people come through the door. The pandemic had nothing to do with that. Urgency was a key though. And October 2nd of 2016, 3 hours, we had 126 people through the door. 23 buyer leads, 0 cost per lead. The last weekend prior, 3 hours, we had 177 people come through the door, 28 buyer leads, 0 cost per lead. Okay? I'll show you the video on that in just a second. This is the largest amount of signs that I've ever seen by any team do. So this group of 4, they did 2 hours installing signs. Don't think about that. 171 signs in total. They got 28 leads and 1 contract. Please note the date, July of 2016. This is nothing new, guys. You get out of it what you put into it. If you're going to shadow somebody and you come back and say, oh, wow, it was a great open house, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. How many people came to the open house? And how many signs? That's what I'm going to ask you. It used to be the running joke, to be honest with you. My friend Sandy, one day she asked somebody how many signs you put out. They said 10, and she busted out laughing in front of them. And then she had to apologize because she said, if you don't put out the signs, you're not going to get anything out of it. That's the whole key to the puzzle. Okay. So that's what'll do the signs. Now, we showed you the video of the Bear's Den. Bear's Den. We going in towards it. You see, we lined it and lined it. And like I said, the first day with 100 signs inside, nothing outside the community, we got 21 people show up at an average price point of 1.5 to 5 million. If you do it, I promise you, you're going to get business out of it. And that's the key to it. All right. So let me show you the video so you see what it looks like to have 170 people in an open house. Now, there was 4 of us working this open house too. So you want to make sure that you can handle it. So let's see, video, there's Cindy. So my partner Cindy is in all the way to the left of the screen in the black and gray. I ask you, those of you that think you're going to do an open house by yourself, how could you possibly handle this? Remember, this is pre-pandemic.
So what do you?
All right, made me dizzy too. All right, so before I forget, couple of house items. Where did I get the signs? Didn't you want to know that? Somebody asked that. I think it was my good friend Michaela. She don't believe that I paid $4 for my signs, but that's okay. I'll show you. I think I have them, maybe. They may be $5 though, so just bear with me. Let's see. So one of them, see if I can bring this up. There we go. That should be it. Hmm. All right, come on, Zoom. Work with me. Little technical difficulties. Give me a half a second here. There we go. Now, can we get it here? Okay, so the first one is called Just Yard Signs. JustYardSigns.com. Okay, I did it real quick to make it up. All right, JustYardSigns.com. Let me see if I can make this bigger so you can see it. And you can modify it, make it any way you want. I highly encourage you to do what? Do like my signs. Put your name on it and or put your phone number. If you don't want to put your cell phone number, what do? Do what me and Sandy did when we used to do it. That is a Google Voice number. Not my cell phone, that's Google Voice. That Google Voice number can do what? Well, if I'm not doing the open house this weekend with Sandy, I can forward the numbers all to Sandy so she can run the open house. Vice versa. How much is a Google Voice number? Free. That's why you do it. I have multiple Google Voice numbers. That's the easiest way. So now you see 9 to 3, I just put that in there for show. You'll see we're ordering 100 each, and that 100 was $504 with free shipping. So it's $5 each for 100. $5 each for 100 of them. Okay? $5 could get you 12,000. I'm just saying. Now, that's why you get a Google Voice number. Because let's say you don't want to put your name on there, or you say, okay, I'll just put the phone number because you don't want it to be only one. Then you can split 50-50. If you don't want to buy 100. But at least, for God's sakes, do 50. At least, for God's sakes. Because any less than that, you're wasting your time. Don't even bother doing the open house. It ain't worth it. I promise you, it's not. So that's one place that you can get the signs. The second place, I think I'm gonna go live for that one. Let's see. That one. Let's see if we do it here. That one is called Signs on the cheap.com. And just to show you how easy it is to do it, Signs on the Cheap actually has a lot of good templates. So, and one of our mega teams in this office uses these. That is the template. It's so easy. You see here, are we not getting there? Signs on the Cheap. There we go. There we go. Okay. So it's right here. It says open house, your message here. Real easy. Real easy to just modify that one if you so desire.
Do you remember what format you had to have the television symbol to add?
You mean this?
Yeah, you want to add the television, yeah.
So what is the rule?
No, you have to have it right.
It must be bigger than anything else on there.
Yeah.
Very good. See?
The televisions,
Yes. Keller Williams must be the biggest thing on there.
and then where do I get what format do they ask?
What's that?
The television, where did you get it from to put over there?
kwconnect.com has every logo you can imagine. So there it is. Take it into color. So we just click on it. And then we decide what size we want to do. So what's the size? We're doing corrugated plastic, 18 by 24. Don't scrimp. All right. Print it double-sided. Why do you print it double-sided? Does anybody know?
You can see it from both sides.
What else though? What's the main reason? Because agents will steal it because they can write their stuff on the back of the one that's blind. Yeah, don't think it don't happen. Okay, that's why you never print single sided.
So how
All
much
right.
does these cost?
Hold on, we're gonna figure it out right now, but thank you for asking.
Okay.
Okay. Signs on the T. Yes. Yes, ma'am. All right, let's see. No holes. There we go. We're going to continue to the designer. So now when we get to the designer, now you can decide to do what? You can decide to put your phone number in here if you want, or your name, however you want to change it, right? And of course, add Keller Williams Classic Realty, right? So make that. Save and continue. We're going to go on to paying for it. We get here, okay? One is $13. How many is 50? 50 is $4.89. 100 is $4. 200 is $4. 500 is $5. You understand now why the bulk is what you have to do? So that's why, and I always taught this in the Ignite class, so I used to tell them, get together and you know, divvy it up between yourselves. I would say get 4 of yous together and go 50, 50, 50, 50. Flash sale. Okay, so if we added this one, should show at $4. I hope.
So that's $400.
No. Well, for 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. What's one sale commission?
12,000.
Oh, there you go. Now you get it.
And Ronnie, that's for the frame and the sign, both?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
The
You're
wire
welcome.
stake is there. Yeah.
The idea is what? This is for, you're going to be in business and do this. You're going to be in business and do this. You're going to do an open house every week at least, at least. I told you if you do 2 or 3, 7th level, you'll do 100 transactions. If you do 1 or 2, you're going to do 50 transactions. Who's okay with 50 transactions? Who's okay with 25 transactions? Hello? What I hear from people is, it didn't work. What do you mean it didn't work? Nobody showed up this week. Okay, so get back on your horse and do it next week. And exactly, it's consistency and consistently doing the activities. Look, if you don't want to get on the phones and call all the time, you know what I mean? Then just get in front of people. Face to face is the best way. That's what this is, face to face, right? Door knocking, face to face, right? You're all beautiful people. Get out there and show them how beautiful you are. It's all easy peasy. Questions?
I have 2 questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
The first one is, if I don't have a listing and nobody in my office wants to give up an open house, then how can I hold an open house? And
So where are you located?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Where do I get Bree Pittman Vaughn? What do you mean ain't nobody sharing? Talk to Bree Pittman Vaughn. She'll get you a listing.
Oh, she's not in my office.
There you go. So call Bree and say, do you have agents that'll share? Because you just brought up the main thing that I want to say right now. So this is for people in my office, and it's good that you brought up this question because it works the same exact way. It's called networking. Why are you guys on this call today?
To learn.
Well, yes, but how did you get here?
And from networking.
From where networking?
From our pivot group.
Very good. So because of that, I know if I move to Charlotte, I can find people in Charlotte that are going to give me a listing to do an open house. Okay?
Okay. And can I ask you one other question?
Can I ask 2 other questions?
Thanks, Ronnie.
You're welcome.
When you were saying, when you were in the open house, if somebody said they, didn't like the house, they were interested in a different price range, you were saying, you could ask them if they wanted to go then. So you would leave the open house, but that would be because you've got somebody else to take the open house to cover you?
Absolutely. There you go.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
All right,
that's the only way I would do that. And realistically, if it was that busy, I wouldn't leave. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I only had 2 or 3 people, I'd say, look, are you okay with me? Well, I'm going to go down the street because I'm trying to close a deal here. You know what I mean? And if they say no, then I say, okay, we're going to close the open house in about a half hour. I'll take you. Look, if it don't happen, I get it. Safety first at all times.
Thank you.
But Susie, I can't believe nobody in your area does not have listings. That would be
No, well, they want to run them themselves so they can have the leads.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But how many are in your office?
There's over 100 agents in my office.
And you can't find one? I don't believe that.
I'll keep trying. I'll let you know when I get one.
And how many offices does your OP own?
2.
There you go. Network with the other one, which is what I'm going to show right now. So this applies to everybody on this call, most specifically though for the people in my office, because I don't understand this, and maybe you guys can help me out. Let me see. All right, so this is my multiple listing service, okay? I know from looking at this right now, there are over 1,100 open house opportunities. Yet I see people in this office struggle to get one open house a week. I don't get it. It's basically because either they didn't come to this class or they came to this class and forgot what I taught them. And what I taught them is this, and Susie, this is the same for you. If you're on your MLS and you can see the other market center, you click on where it's called My Office Active Listings. There are what? 83. There are 83 listings. that are, to me, that says there's 83 possible open house opportunities. I click on it. Very simply, I scroll to the left, excuse me, to the right. I'm looking for the agent. I've already got it set up. If you hit it once, it'll put it in alphabetical order. And then I see who's got the open house, or who's got the listings. So I'm going to walk up to Brady Richardson, number 1, and say, hey, Brady, I want to do an open house. Brady should be smart enough to ask me this. Do you have your own signs? Yeah, show them why they should let you do an open house. Because you have signs and you have the equipment and you're ready to do it the right way. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say it here. You find out on your own. There are teams on here that have signs that they will provide you. It's up to you to reach out. Now, what you shouldn't do is go on our Facebook pages and say, if there's an open house opportunity, can anybody please let me know? No. Be a business owner. Go out and ask. I promise you, you do one of them good the right way, they're going to be coming after you saying, would you be able to do an open house for us? That's how you get it, guys. Now, you'll see who's got the listings. You look at the names, who's got the listings, the opportunities, the opportunities, the opportunities, the opportunities. Now, my market center happens to be privileged. We are privileged in the fact that my broker is the broker of 13 other offices. So because he's the broker of 13 other offices, my firm active listing shows 1,100 possible open house opportunities. Now, you may not want to travel to where these open house opportunities are. So let's take a peek. So let's take a peek of, sorry, I hit the wrong one. Sorry about that. That was the pending. Firms active listings. All right, so we're probably not going to drive to Tampa because Tampa's about an hour away from us, an hour and a half. Maybe you are. Maybe you don't care because you understand and you like the price point, or you became and networked with this individual. I had, from the pivot shift call, someone in Tampa call me and say, I've got a listing in Davenport, Florida. She's in Tampa, but she took one in Davenport. Oh, smart lady. Do you have anybody in your office that could do an open house for me? Okay, that's someone that knows what they're doing. Let's keep looking. So let's keep looking. So where are you, Brandy?
Ronnie, how do you get that my firm active listings to show on that MLS?
You'd have to be in the Florida one, and it would have to be.
I'm in Fort Myers area.
How many does your broker? How many offices do you have the same broker of record?
Yeah, I don't believe they are the same broker from.
Yeah, that's the problem. See, we have the same broker for 13 offices. So, okay. I mean, we are very privileged because I'm going to show you something right here. Let me go to, so Barrett's got a ton of them. He's up in Oviedo, which is a half hour north of us. Go to the next one. And this becomes a networking thing, guys. Okay? This becomes a networking thing. So, where is she? Randy Matson Klein. She is a MREA out of Claremont, Florida. That is less than 25 minutes from my office. So if I call Brandy and say, hey, Brand, it's okay if I do an open house at 123 Main Street? I have 100 signs. That right away will get her attention. Okay? Or his attention. Number one. Number two, I did it one time in this office. I asked Chris Bissett, he runs one of the biggest teams here. I said, hey, Chris, 123 Main Street, can I do an open house this week? You know what he said to me? Janice beat you to it. And I knew exactly who he meant. Janice Garcia, who's out of our sister place, Legacy, down in Kissimmee. She called Chris and grabbed it. Yeah, because she knows what to do. Networking. Okay? So don't be afraid that you have stuff here. So let's say that one day I decide that I want to do this. I want to go, no, I'm not going to Sarasota. But let's say I want to go here. Oh, wow. At 100 a time, it's taking me forever. Hold on, I get it. There we go. Anybody on this call know this guy, Jack Smith?
Yes.
Well, I could call Jack Smith with St. Pete Luxury and say, Jack, is it okay if I do an open house? Now you get the idea? Now you get the idea, okay? So I'm going to share with you the last thing here, and then we'll take questions. The last thing here, this happened the other day, and Jack shared it, and Jack has done the luxury part of my open house thing. I'll show you guys where to find that. What he did was he posted a video that happened to me also, but I didn't have a video of it. So that's why I asked him if it would be okay if I shared it. And he said, absolutely, because that's the way Jack is. So just give me 1 second and I will find that video. So it should be here. And it should be in let's see. There it is. You're right there. Okay, let me show you the tag. So those on the pivot shift call know Jack Smith, St. Pete Luxury. So I saw this the other day on Facebook and it said, well, this is still true today. Signs draw traffic. It's been our secret sauce for open houses. If you're going to sit in an open house for 2 or 3 hours, and this is what happened. So it says there, when another broker walks into your open house and makes a comment about the 51 signs and balloons you put out for your open house with the help of Sam and Nikita. So you had 2 other people with them. So this
You
is
have it
another
on mute, so we
broker.
couldn't hear the video.
Hold on, I'm playing the video. Hold on. So this was another broker.
Something to the trick, and I saw you had plenty. There is no doubt.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for coming to see us.
Have a nice day, guys.
Be safe. Tell us what you just said.
Something to the trick, and I saw you had plenty. There is no doubt.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for coming to see us.
Have a nice day, guys.
Be safe. Tell us what you just said.
Something to.
Okay, so I had that happen to me, but in a different way. We were in a town called Lakeland, and we were deep in Lakeland, and the closest intersection was 5 miles away. So my partner and I put out signs literally 5 miles from the house to get them to come there. This Caldwell banker agent came in there. She said, and I quote, I saw the signs there and I knew nothing was there and I had to follow them just to see where it wound up. Okay, the signs work. That is the key to it. All right, so for those of you that have asked, Jack Smith did the luxury version of my open house class 2 months ago. It is located on the YouTube page. That YouTube page is called KW Classic Cappers in Training. Has my name after it, so that's how you know it. If you go to the playlist, listen guys, there's hundreds of things on here. I did this when I did Ignite back in 2016 because we needed it, because there was a lot of video. So if you go to the playlist and just go to the 7th level mega open houses, click on view the playlist, you'll see the second one says 7th level mega open house with Jack Smith. The first half hour is how Jack and his team do it at a luxury home, okay? The rest of them are my open houses. I haven't had too many recorded. And this one will be added to it probably, but that's what I have. Okay, so that's what I've got for everybody. Questions, comments, ahas?
When you have a open house with other 1, 2, 3 agents with you, what do you guys do with the leads? That one at a time?
I'm glad you brought that up because I didn't say that. Okay, so here's how I do it. Here's how I do it. I was taught if you want somebody to participate, you better make them equal. I had 4 people with me, well, 3 people and me at an open house. We split the leads 25, 25, 25, 25. Why? Because then they gave me 100%. Now, I see these posts and I cringe every time, but I won't say nothing because that's their post. And it says shadowing opportunity. And some of these agents are going to say, oh, you're just shadowing today. There's no leads. Ask for the terms up front, number 1. Number 2, when you take a listing, you take a potential open house, ask the terms up front from the listing agent. Okay? We've had agents come back crying Monday morning. We got 3 seller leads, and they said, no, we keep the seller leads. You only get the buyer leads.
When you say ask, can you let us know how that would sound?
Sure. Hey, I'm doing an open house for you this weekend. I will take care of everything, signs and that. You're just going to post it on the MLS, correct? Get the confirmation. Okay. So if I get seller, buyer, or investor leads, I keep all of them. Is that correct? Don't be afraid to ask. No. You don't get the seller leads. We get the seller leads. Okay, thanks. Bye. Unless you are okay with that. Now, in this office here, our office, we don't preach that. If you're doing it in this office only, and someone says, we keep the seller leads, we want to know about it. Because we don't practice that. If you're doing an open house for an agent, you're providing a service for them, you should be keeping everything. It's true. Okay? Does that answer your question, Jonathan?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome, bud. No problem. Anyone else? Questions?
Hi, Ronnie, it's Katrina again. I actually have a
Yes.
question in reference to the directional signs. And
Yes.
it's probably preference, but clarity. So you have your generic open house signs that does not have Keller Williams on it, and then you can purchase.
I know they all have Keller Williams on it. All have Keller Williams. It's illegal if I don't have Keller Williams on it.
Well, that's the question, because like at our MLS store, they sell just regular signs that says open house with an arrow on it. There's no,
Oh,
it's
no.
not branded.
You're supposed to write Keller Williams on there.
Okay.
The $4 ones that you get at Lowe's that are only like this big. Yeah, those, no. You must have the brokerage on there. And it should be written out forward. It can't say KW only. It must say Keller Williams class. Well, for us, it's Keller Williams Classic Realty legally. You know why you got to do that too? It's unfortunate, but our broker on the brokers forum has told us many times, if you don't do this the right way, guess what? Other agents are reporting you because they know they can. That's why you should do it right the first time. How many of you have a business page? Facebook business page. If you do, it must say your legal name at or with Keller Williams Classic Realty in this office. Otherwise, you're opening yourself up to get reported and fined. Okay? We know it's true because agents do that. They will report you. All right. Any other questions?
Ronnie, I have a question. This is Lydia.
Hey, Lydia.
Hi there, and thank you for the class. Very informative, as all your sessions are. Ronnie, so I live in an area or, where I'm trying to penetrate and very, very strict rules on open house, just signage in general. First of all, no signage is allowed, for sale signs are even allowed in the whole town. So you never know what house is on the market. And then if you do have an open house, you're allowed only 2 signs, one at the house and one at the closest corner. And it only is generic. It says broker open house, and that's it. You're not allowed to put a balloon there. You're not allowed to put the company name. You're not allowed for anything. So how do we create buzz in an area like that?
So we have a town here in Florida called Celebration. Celebration is identically the same as what you're saying. You have to buy their sign the way they have it. It's only in the front, and it's a little baby sign. Open houses, you can't even have 1 sign up. So the only thing you can do is what? Door knocking, very good. If they allow door knocking or circle prospect, then you got to get the word out. That's the only thing you can do. Or find out if they allow not so much a yard sale, but a community event. And what I mean by that is what? I know agents that in Celebration, when they were trying to hold an open house, would do on the driveway a barbecue. Give away free hot dogs and burgers. Come to our event, not an open house, an event. And then from there, bring them into the house and do it that way. That's if you have to pursue that area. If you don't, then I would take the least resistance. That's what I would do. But if you're set on doing it, you got to find leverage. So the only leverage would be to circle prospect, door knock, if that's permitted. If it's not permitted, and look, I know they're going to come and say, no soliciting, no soliciting. We're not soliciting. We're providing information.
Right.
Information. That's it. And of course, flight versus fight. Don't get into a confrontation. You know what I mean? Use your best judgment. And Lydia, is this in Connecticut or New York?
Yes, this is in Greenwich, Connecticut.
Yeah, I would assume it's that way too. Love Greenwich, Connecticut. Yep.
Yeah.
I would assume it's that way. Yep. Little.
And you put up balloons?
It's kind of like Celebration. It's what do you call it?
No balloons, no nothing.
Stepford Wives. Okay.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yep. In fact, in Celebration, it's called Wisteria Lane from Desperate Housewives. So, yeah, those are challenges. I wish I could tell you, yeah, go ahead and do it, but I don't want you to fall into a,
Right.
I don't think they can do more than take your signs. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think they can find the broker or something. I mean, it's
Okay,
clearly
if that's the
against,
case, then of
clearly
course,
against MLS rules.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's
They're-
MLS rules?
They're MLS, they're,
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. If
they
that's
have
the
an
case,
exclusive MLS too, just for that
Ah,
district, yeah.
oh, yeah. Okay, so they've already decided that this is the way we do it. That's it. They don't want to know nothing. That's kind of like what happened to me in Reunion.
Mhm.
The HOA said, we don't want you in here. We don't want this. We don't want any of this.
Right,
If you want me to put 100 signs outside, we don't care if you go outside, but we don't want it inside. But I knew if I went outside, I wasn't gonna get no traffic. So, but who cares? It's all right.
Right.
Move on, right? Next.
right.
Plenty of fish in the ocean. I'm sure that's not what you wanted to hear, but I'm sorry.
No, thank you, I appreciate that. I just was wondering if there was, any other way that other people have come across this situation, how to deal with it.
Yeah, door knocking and circle prospecting would be your best bet.
Thank you.
Okay. Nina. What would you like, Dina? She's unmuted, but I don't hear you. And Nina's local in Pembroke Primes. Yes, Nina. Okay. All right, if there are no other questions, everybody knows where to find me. I don't hide. Okay, so I hope you guys got something out of this today. Remember, be safe out there when you're doing your open houses, okay? You're welcome all, and thank you. I'll see you all on the pivot shift call tomorrow,
Yes,
7:30
thank-
a.m.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Thank you. Great class, Ronnie. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Thank you. See you on early birds at 6:30 for the early people.
Yeah.
All right,
See you guys.
later.